Pennsylvania, was drafted number 6 overall by the Chicago Bears in 1983. He was a 2-time All-Pro and was named to the 1980s All-Decade team. Bears head coach Mike Ditka said of Covert, quote, "From day one, we put him at left tackle and moved on. You don't get too many people who come along who can make that impact." Covert, of course, opened holes for Walter Payton and in 1985 anchored the offensive line on a team that many consider to be the greatest of all time. There's Jimbo's resume. Guys, he started in 3 title games. His Bears led the entire NFL in rushing for 4 consecutive seasons. Jimbo is a member of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame, the College Football Hall of Fame, and now he completes the sweep and goes to Canton. Jimbo.
Congratulations, Jimbo Covert. Our next Hall of Fame inductee, Winston Hill, who is selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame today in the Centennial class. Hill played offensive tackle for the New York Jets from 1963 to 1976. He was named to 8 Pro Bowls, the most in Jets franchise history. He was an Iron Man, too. When he retired, Hill held the Jets franchise record for consecutive starts with 174. That's 10th on the NFL's all-time list today. Hill spent much of his career protecting Broadway Joe. After the Jets' legendary win in Super Bowl III, Joe Namath said, quote, "Without Winston Hill that day, we do not win the championship." Winston Hill's resume: 8-time Pro Bowl selection, 195 career games played with the New York Jets, and an AFL Hall of Famer in the 1960s, and an all-decade second-team member. Congratulations, the late Winston Hill.
All right, guys, this is a special honor for me, from one wide receiver to another. Congratulations to Harold Carmichael, who was selected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame Centennial class. Carmichael didn't look like your typical size wide receiver when he was drafted by the Eagles in 1971. Standing at 6 foot 8 inches tall, he was then and still is the tallest wide receiver the game has ever known. He played nearly his entire 14-year career in Philadelphia. When he retired in 1984, Carmichael held the record for consecutive games with a catch at 127. That record now held by fellow Hall of Famer Jerry Rice with 274. Carmichael, still the Eagles' leader in receptions, yards, and receiving touchdowns. Just a short time ago, Harold Carmichael found out he would forever be enshrined in the halls of Canton, Ohio. Here's the call.
Hello.
Hello, Harold.
Yes.
This is David Baker. How are you doing?
Oh, Dave, good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's my great privilege to share that you're going to have a bronze bust in Canton, Ohio.
Oh, God. Oh, thank you, David. Oh, man. Oh, God. Thank you. Thank you, God. Oh, wow. Oh boy! This is so much. I'm honored. I feel like I'm dreaming.
What a moment. Indeed, a dream come true. What an incredible moment that was to witness and to hear. We are now joined by the man on the receiving end of that Hall of Fame enshrinement in Canton. He is a member of the Centennial Hall of Fame class of 2020. He was the NFL Man of the Year in 1980, was a 4-time Pro Bowl selection during his playing days. Please welcome to the show, now Hall of Famer, Harold Carmichael.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Now, Harold, thank you for joining us. I know it's been like a whirlwind.
Whoa, boy.
It's been over 25 years since you left the NFL, and I'm guessing there were times that you thought this day wouldn't come. Now that it's here, how do you feel?
Oh, well, I still don't have I'm numb right now. Getting the call from David, he asked me the same thing. I said, I don't know how I feel right now. What had happened when he did tell me that, I just had a flashback for almost 60-some years ago. And I'm thinking about the guys that helped me to get here. The guys, and they don't know I'm going to do this, but the Baby Robins, that was our softball team, mentioning those guys that really started me to help mold me, then going to Southern University, we're playing at Rains High School. Another Hall of Famer just got inducted. Brian Dawkins went to the same high school as I did. And then going to Southern University, getting ready to, playing at Southern, playing with Mel Blount. This guy got me ready for the NFL. In practice every day, just going against him, and then going to, walk-on. I was a walk-on at Southern University. Nobody knew who I was, but got there. Finally, became the freshman of the year. So moving on to the NFL, 7th-round draft choice, nobody expected me to make it. I'm reflecting on all of this stuff, how I got there, how, the roads, the journeys, the little short journeys that I took to get me here, and to be a part of this, the 2020 Centennial class is just something that, I'll tell every kid, start getting ready for this. It won't be 2020, it might be 2000 whatever when you get this age and stuff, but be prepared to do this. Prepare yourself to do this, because this is the ultimate, honor that you can get in the National Football League.
Harold, congratulations. Thank you for being here. And I'd like you to try to answer that question that you just asked yourself. How did you get here? 7th-round pick out of Southern University. You entered the league as a tight end. How do you go from fighting for a roster spot to a Hall of Fame career?
Well, when I first got drafted, people were saying that I was going to go between the 1st and 3rd round. Come to find out it was a 7th-round draft choice. Talked to the general manager a few years after being with the Eagles. He told me I was on the board as being a wide receiver that can also play defensive back. I said, where did they get that from? The last time I played defensive back was in high school, and I was a safety then. But that journey, as I was talking about, it was something that I had instilled in myself. Always be prepared. I have a little, I was in the Boy Scouts, but I have a little plaque that's in my truck that I look at, be prepared. And my family laugh at me because they ask, oh, do you have this? Yeah, I got it in my truck. I have this. I'm prepared for a lot of things, that may go wrong. But going to Southern, I was the 3rd guy on the at my position, and our guy we're playing in Shreveport, Louisiana, and our starting wide receiver got hurt, but and then the backup receiver was Isaiah Robinson, Butch Robinson. He played for the Rams and stuff. Unfortunately, I'll tell you the story. Go back to that. Then they was calling for him, but he was down on the other end of the bench. And the coach turned around and said, Carmichael, get in the game. Nobody played that position but me for the next 3.5 years. And stuff, Butch Robinson, he just recently passed year before last, and a great friend of mine. From that play, he went from wide receiver to linebacker. So I moved him over to the defensive side. That was my position from here on in. But, just moving in, then going into the NFL, again, people 6'8", they said 225
Lanky.
pounds. Yeah.
Skinny.
I was just barely making 220 then. I was really skinny and all. But, I questioned myself whether I could play this game. And it took me 2 weeks to say, yes, I can play. I can play. And I got hurt a couple of times and dislocated my thumb. My rookie year, the same year, I tore a knee. But I came back my second year, and they didn't think I was going to be ready. But I rehabbed myself, and
you're prepared.
I prepared. I got when they called my number to go out and play, I was there. So I tell everybody, just be prepared. Put your skills, your knowledge, learn something. Everybody. Hear people say, "Oh, he was like this, he was like that." No, I took a little piece of this, a little piece of that guy, a little piece of that guy. Because when I came in the league, we had Harold Jackson and Ben Hawkins. They were 5'8".
Yeah.
Well, Harold Jackson was a little shorter than 5'8", though, but he's my best friend, one of my best friends.
Generous media guy.
Yeah. But they were trying to get me to run patterns like a 5'8" guy, and I couldn't do that. My stride was longer, wider. Boyd Dowler came in, and say, Harold, you can't run patterns like a 5'8" guy. So they kind of adjusted a lot of the offense and defense, offense to go against the defense. And, you know, it started working out for me. You know, about third year in the league, I led the league in receptions and so you know, all of those things that I took a little bit from here, a little bit from there, you know, put it, and then, you know, I got this.
Yeah.
You've got the Walter Payton Man of the Year honor here, and it was 1980. It's on your lapel. You won the Man of the Year. It wasn't named after Walter Payton then.
Right.
You mentioned Mel Blount, mentioned Southern University. So many from the historically black colleges, you know, community have rised above and have now been Canton. You're the next. What does it mean to you to have all of these brothers and all these guys that you have played with in that community, in that family, and be the next inductee into the Hall of Fame?
One of my greatest achievements was to be inducted into the Black College Football Hall of Fame, and that was a couple of years ago. I got a call from Shaq Harris, you know, saying that I was inducted. I mean, I jumped out of my bed and, you know, hit the ceiling. That was the same year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, so I was floating. I mean, I'm you know, now I've got back on that cloud again, you know, and, you know, it's just been exciting for me. I've been so blessed, you know, on this journey to get where I am, you know, to be able to be in places at the right time and being blessed, and, you know, at that same time, you know, it's been a great ride for me. You know, it's been exciting. Something that I look back, I'm going to look back on, and again, I go back to Jacksonville, Florida. You know, playing football in the street, a touch in the street, tackle in the grass. You know, playing at Sandlot football in the bowling alley. I think we played the first indoor football ever.
The bowling alley.
At the bowling alley. We call it the bowling alley because they was going to build this bowling alley. For some reason, it stopped. So they had the big shell around it, the walls and all, no windows and all. So when it rained, and from Jacksonville, Florida, it rained almost every day in Jacksonville. So when it did rain, we're going to the bowling alley, and we're playing some of the top football players that played in the NFL that's played in there. You know, I look at a person, I don't know, you guys are young, but Kenny Burroughs, Sam Baker played with Pittsburgh. We all played in this place, in the bowling alley. And it's still the rest of the church now. You know, but that's where we got some of our stars from, right in there. If we didn't play there, we went out right outside next to it. It was a big field there that we'd play, or we went across the street. You know, Jacksonville's the largest city in the United States, so we had a lot of area to you know, to do the all
bowling alley football. Never heard of such a thing.
We were in the first dome stadium.
Sometimes players got to know when to strike, right? Exactly. Harold, you sat down, you said you were numb.
Oh, yeah.
Have you allowed yourself to think about, I'm going to have that jacket on. I'm going to that kid from Jacksonville is going to have the bust. Have you thought about it?
Right now, what's on my mind right now, and I like to tell all my friends, especially my family, I apologize for not being able to tell you that I knew for a while, and this has been one of the toughest things for me to do, is not tell. Yeah, I could only tell my wife. You know, and she's, you know, she just went crazy because she, you know, she can't tell my son. That was the worst part. I wanted to tell him, and a lot of my friends I wanted to tell. You know, my phone was blown off the chain the past couple of days. You know, my agent, you know, people that work in this foundation that I have, they've been calling me, and they're best friends of mine. And this has been the toughest thing, the anticipation of this day and not being able to tell anybody that that I'm in. And again, I apologize to everybody.
It's all right.
Harold, you got to look at your phone now.
Harold, we can't wait to see you in that jacket. But until then, we're going to give you this shirt right here in the Kelly green. And this is your Hall of Fame T-shirt from Good Morning Football. Harold Carmichael, man, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
I think you have to consider who's going to be able to help you put that jacket on. They're going to have to be very tall. You were towering over David Baker backstage.
Well, no, we're close, you know, about the same height. But We'll find a way.
Okay.
We'll
figure it out.
figure this out, even if I have to just get, just stoop down a little bit, but you don't like, stooping. But we'll find a way to get that jacket on, because I tell you, this is the ultimate. I don't know if too much more you can do in international football.
No.
Again, we talk about this. This is an honor, getting this, and not too many people can get this either. So I feel so honored right now, having these honors bestowed on me right now.
And now we can scream it. Harold Carmichael is a Hall of Famer.
I can tell y'all I'm in.
Yeah.